times again. For you, for you, for you, for you.
Good morning. Hello, how are you? We're back. We're back again for another impactful conversation with Gayle Brown. Thank you for joining us again this morning. I am, I took a little time off, June and July. I hope you did too. It was really restorative for me. I got some summer reading in. I read 4 Pivots by Dr. Sean Ginwright, and I also read Rest is Resistance, a manifesto. So if you haven't read this book, it is life-changing. I think you should check it out. Just really reclaiming rest as our birthright, right? Our ancestors couldn't rest. So she makes that point, and I so agree. I just took June. Good morning, Glennis. How are you? Yes, that reminds me to say, if you're out there and you want to be entered into the drawing, please put your name in the chat and you will be entered into the drawing. My assistant, Marina, will reach out to you and get your address, and we will mail you, because we do have raffle prizes today. Well, before we get to our guests, and we started Guest Brown Impact to really spotlight and showcase Black excellence in our neighborhoods and in our world, because sometimes we just need to be reminded in this world. There has been no shortage of talent, and today is no exception. You're really going to enjoy our guest. I think she's really got a meaningful business when you consider the plight of our people. So I wanted to say a little bit before we get to the guest that our theme is Black financial well-being, but also Small Black Business Month. So we'll get to that in just a minute. I want to tell you that Guest Brown Impact has created this forum on our 5th anniversary because our vision is women standing in their power, speaking their truths, and commanding their world. And when I, as a professional, I was in that world, and I hung out my shingle to help Black women and women of color overcome some of the inequities in the workplace. At Guest Brown Impact, we truly believe that all of those inequities are simply leadership challenges. They're the leadership challenge of our generation. We're all about all things leadership and all things equity at Guest Brown Impact. August is also a number of months, but it is National Black Business Month. And so we want to just acknowledge all of our small businesses out there working away and ask that you lend them your patronage, that you patronize Black businesses this month. We here at Guest Brown Impact will be highlighting 2 Black businesses this month. Black small businesses are really have an impact in our community. We create $2.5 million jobs in California, just under 29 billion in tax revenue, and 82 billion in labor income created by minority-owned small businesses. So we are small but mighty. We are meaningful in our community, in this California economy. So go out. We can't do what we do without you. So please go out and lend us your support by shopping small Black businesses this month. At Guest Brown Impact, it is our 7th year, and we're celebrating 7 years. It is a very small percentage of businesses that make it 5 years, and an even smaller percentage that makes it 10 years. So every year matters, but this year felt meaningful to me, and I wanted to just highlight that and thank you for patronizing me and keeping me in business for 7 years. I appreciate the business. Thank you so much. Next slide. Oh, yeah, I didn't want to go without telling you about this special honor. While we were away, on vacation, we received notification from the Sacramento Business Journal that we were awarded the Champion of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Award of 2023. You can see me on the stage with a number of honorees there. Big people like California Black Health Network, and also people I've done business with have patronized my business. Pride Industries, UC Davis Health. Who else was that? Oh, SMUD, another patron of mine. And so awesome to be on the stage with these giants. And a couple of us individuals were awarded. And I got a chance to meet with other people, like-minded people like myself. So really a nice gathering. Ebony McClinton was standing right next to me there in the light dress with the printed dress. And so it was just a great occasion. Of course, Ernest was there to support. And the award, we're holding the award there. You can't see it in that picture because it's clear, but it's here behind me. We put a black cloth behind it, so maybe you can see it a little bit. But that is the Champion of Diversity Award for 2023. What an honor and a privilege. So I'm really honored by that. But thank you. Couldn't have done it without you. So we're going to go on and talk about a little bit about the money issue. A lot of us have all kinds of beliefs around money, right? We grow up with hearing all kinds of messages from money is the root of all evil to don't talk about money, but money is an important issue. And in California, it says 60%, but I've seen this number as high as 70% of Black women are head of household. So how we manage our money really matters, and it's important to our families. Often it's the only paycheck in the family, and so it's important that we know what to do with our money. And this is a good segue to our next guest. I'll bring her up in just a moment, but let me introduce you to her first. Doctoral candidate Anita R. Johnson is here with us today, and let me read a little bit about her. She's an entrepreneur, of course. She's a financial behaviorist. We'll talk to her a little bit about what that means. She's a speaker and writer and founder of Money Wisdom for Women and Affluence for Financial Fitness for Women magazine. She's also a community champion for those who lack financial understanding. When individuals and businesses experience trauma or severe life and financial stressors, it's not uncommon for our lives and our businesses to unravel and create some bad financial habits, right? So Anita has a tremendous passion for bringing a sense of healing and understanding to people and businesses who have been through stressful financial experiences. She helps clients who include young aspiring professionals, adults, families, and business owners to find and create a healthy money mindset. We'll talk about what that means and to strengthen their relationship with money. Anita has over 30 years of business experience along with a BBS in financial accounting, MS in taxation, and she's currently completing her PhD in finance. She has always had a passion for helping individuals and entrepreneurs find their financial voice. So help me welcome and bring on stage Anita Johnson. Good morning. How are you? Oh, I think you muted yourself. Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. How are you?
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Anita, your credentials are impressive, and I want to know more about it, but would you also give us, the audience, a chance to get to know who you are as a person? Would you tell us who your people are, where your people are from, that kind of thing? That's always helpful.
Sure. Yeah, I'm actually from Louisiana.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. A small town. I think the
Yeah.
population might be 5,000.
Okay.
2 red lights.
All right. What's the name of the town?
It's called Oakdale, Louisiana.
Oakdale, Louisiana.
Yeah.
What's it near?
it's near. It's between Alexander and Lake Charles. It's one of
Okay.
those smaller towns in between there.
But it's
And
down by the boot, right? Alexander
no,
Lake,
no,
Alex,
it's right in the middle, kind of in
right
the
in the middle.
middle.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm. And
Awesome.
New Orleans is west of where I'm at, where I was living. So yeah.
Okay.
And my parents were educators. They both were school teachers. And we only had one school, so guess what? I got to be in both my parents' class.
Oh my goodness. Oh
Yeah.
my
So
goodness.
yeah, so that actually was an interesting thing. My mother taught English, and my dad taught mechanical drawing. And
Mechanical drawing. Oh, two
uh,
educators. We have a number of educators in our family as well.
hmm
Baby Grace is watching today, and her mom is a school counselor. Baby Grace, welcome, Baby Grace.
I love
Uh,
it.
so tell us more. So when both of your parents are educators, they're teaching you. They're your teachers in a small town.
They're
Now,
my
when my
teachers.
mom was a substitute teacher one time, I used to crawl up in her closet and find the answers. Did you do that?
No, I didn't quite do that, but what I did do was, my dad taught mechanical drawing, but I didn't have to take mechanical drawing, and I took it as an elective.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, and one of the reasons why I took it is because my boyfriend was in that class.
Yeah, who was in that class?
My boyfriend was in that
Your
class at the
boyfriend at
time.
the class.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we
Well, you couldn't do too much with dad overseeing the class.
that's
Your dad was
true.
right
That's
there.
true. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's true. And so they both had businesses after their
Wow.
yeah. My mother also, she was an English and a music her minor was music in college. They met in Grambling,
Oh,
and
Grambling. All right.
yeah, they met at Grambling. And so after they did their teaching thing, they went off to do their entrepreneur, where my mother played the piano for different churches up and down the state of Louisiana. And then my
Wow.
dad was the architect, and he built the churches that my mother
Wow.
played
Talk
up and
about an
down the state of
impactful
Louisiana.
family.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I started at Grambling, but I was not able to complete at Grambling and moved here to California to my mother's family lived here in Sacramento.
Oh,
And I
okay.
moved to Sacramento and moved in with my aunt. I think I may have been there 2 months and moved into my own place and finished both my bachelor's and my first master's. I have two masters um, at National University.
Okay. Tell us about
And
those masters. Why did you find it necessary to get two?
well, one was embedded into my PhD.
Okay.
So I didn't even know I was getting it.
Okay. What was it in?
Physiology.
Physiology.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that like the study of the body?
No, that is more of the psychology. Maybe it's the psychology part of it.
Oh,
It's
I
the
see.
P in the PhD.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
now I have the master's in that. And actually was not going to apply for it, but one of my classmates kept saying, you go ahead and apply for this. Still get it. And it allows me to counsel people.
Wow.
Yeah, it allows me to counsel, although I still have to get, if I wanted to do that, I still have to get California's all the regulations and things for California in order to see people that way through my master's, through that master's. My first master's was in taxation because I was going to go to law school and be a tax attorney,
Okay.
um, and decided differently after I read all the rules and regulations. So
Wow.
that,
So I understand that the love for being raised by educators, the love for education. But your original quest was to be a tax attorney. But you got your master's in taxation. and now you're going on to get your PhD in finance, right?
In finance.
Yeah.
Yes, in finance.
Wow, that's quite an interesting journey.
Yes, it is. It is. I have been an entrepreneur for I'm actually in my 26th year of,
Wow.
yeah, when I first walked away from the state of California, making really good money.
And decided you were going to go into business for yourself.
I had always wanted to be in business. So my
Okay.
mother's people have always had their own businesses, whatever those businesses might have been. Okay.
Yes.
Right. And so they have always been in business. Um, my dad's folks, not too much. They were all educated, but like I have an aunt who has her PhD, and she's retired now. She retired from San Diego State.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was and she's done amazing things. She actually has there is a scholarship named after her.
Wow.
There is she testified in front of Congress before. Um, so she has done some amazing things in her life. She'll be 80 next year, and we're going to do a great party for her because not only am I completing my PhD, but my nephew has completed his, and my cousin. So it'll be four of us in one generation, in
Wow.
one lineager that has PhDs.
That is amazing.
When my
What an
great
amazing
grandmother
family
couldn't read,
legacy, right?
and my great grandmother couldn't read, and so we love it. We love the
Yes.
fact that she couldn't read. My grandmother was a maid, and the fact that
Wow.
we all have, we have done amazing things with our lives.
Yes, that is
Mm,
amazing. That's
mm,
quite a legacy. But when our parents are in business, it teaches us we kind of know we can do it. We're like,
mhm,
if they could do it with far less resources than I have, then I
mhm.
should be able to do this. I know it
Right,
has fueled me. It's
right.
fueled me when I was first in business, wondering if it was ever going to take off, right? Wondering if I was ever going to really be coaching people. And I said, well, if my great grandfather was enslaved in this country, but was 18 years old when the proclamation was signed, the
Oh,
Emancipation Proclamation. And he managed to acquire 130 acres. And he went on to grow everything, his own business. But then that business legacy has been in our family for 200 years, right?
mhm,
So he grew everything on his property for living, and from peanuts to corn to potatoes, right? So and that sense of community, because on his land was a community school and a community church,
mm,
right? So this commitment to the community and to God, this was goes back in my family a long time, a
mhm.
long ways. And
Right.
everyone has had a business all the way down, except for me, right? So then when I had been in corporate America, when I hung out my shingle, making good money, like you like to say, but you're betting on yourself, right?
Mhm,
And that's
mm,
usually a pretty good bet if you're committed.
mhm.
And we don't have any excuses when we have family legacies like you and I have just had, right? We just talked about.
Exactly.
We don't
Yeah,
have any excuses
exactly.
to doubt ourselves because they've shown us we can do it.
Right,
And I
exactly.
just want
Yeah.
to encourage anybody out there who's thinking about it. It's not for the faint of heart,
Mm,
but it is doable, and you can make the money you need for living. I
mhm.
will say that.
Yes. Yes, it
And
it it is many nights, awake.
sometimes, especially in the early days. Yeah.
Yes.
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 Well, thank you for sharing a little bit about yourself and your family and your roots and your journey to what you do now. You are a financial behaviorist. And so tell us about what that means. a financial behaviorist?
So it actually, I actually just decided on this name for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
Um, One, I did not want to, after being so many years in business, when I started the business, I was an accountant, tax preparer, bookkeeper, all of those. And so about
Mhm.
the 15th year, I kind of like, okay, these numbers have got to go, right? Numbers, that's all I saw in front of 'em. And I was
Oh,
like,
I see.
yeah, numbers. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can do this in my sleep. This is getting
Okay.
not boring, but it was like, is redundant. I guess that
It
is
wasn't
boring.
it wasn't
Yeah,
enough to fill you.
just this, yeah. And so um at one point, like I said, wanted to be a tax attorney. And then what happened is, while I was doing taxes, women were coming to me
Mm,
about,
mm,
why is my return so low? Why is, this and that? And these were women who were really actually earning quite a bit of money, six figures,
right.
high six figures. And they were concerned about, a $3,000 um, return or a $2,000 return or something. I figured out that they were broke, right?
Yeah.
and and I wanted to figure out why they were like this. What is causing this? And then I looked at my mother's life, and I looked at my own life, and I looked at some of my own friends' life. And at what point did we not understand the flow
Mm,
of money? Is when my mother and father eventually divorced. And then when they divorced, my mother became immediately below the poverty line.
mm,
And I was like, wow, she's had houses, she's had cars, she has this and that, and all of a sudden she's living in this dump, probably about $1,700 a month. And I just couldn't understand that. And so that's when I started counseling people, and I wanted to know their behaviors. What behaviors? And that's when the behavior part came in.
okay.
Financial, I took what I already had, which was the
Yes.
financial part, and I added the behavior to it
Yeah.
because I wanted to know what caused
Mm,
the behavior of
yeah.
why we were struggling,
Mhm.
why women were, especially Black women, why we were struggling, because we actually tend to retire in poverty, much higher than Caucasian women. And
Mm,
what was that about? I wanted to
yeah.
know what that about. How come we retire in poverty after we've had all of this so-called luxury, so to speak? Luxury of having a home and cars and, bank accounts and all those kinds of things. And so those are the things, and that's where the financial behaviorist came in. Yeah.
Awesome. I actually see a little bit of a little bit of overlap between what we do, because one of the things I recognize is that there are so many inequities in the workplace,
Hmm.
and that Black women, are earning somewhere between 58 cents and 62 cents
Hmm.
on the dollar for every dollar their white male counterparts earned as of last um, of December of that prior year.
Right.
And so, with that kind of inequity, um, it really does cut into what we can bring home, and
Correct.
especially relative to our white peers,
Hmm.
but also that accounts for us a deficit of about $900,000 over the course of a 40-year
Hmm.
career
Hmm.
that we don't have, where that money, it accounts to almost $1 million that we don't have at retirement.
Hmm.
So this would account for why they are retiring broke, right?
Right.
Because they of these inequities. And then there's probably some behaviors as well, right? The
Right.
inequities plus the behaviors. So two If you tackle
Well,
both of those ends of that equation, you could probably get somewhere.
well, here's some other shocking news you may or may not know. The net worth of a Black woman is $5 compared to a white woman, which is about 25,000.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
when I was researching and I saw that, I was like, this is possibly just cannot be true. Right.
right.
And it does go to what you were saying about the inequity of the paycheck, the investments. We're not
Yes.
able to
You
invest,
can
or
invest,
yeah,
right?
you can invest, or you don't
Right.
know how to invest, or you're
Yes.
afraid to invest. You haven't
Yes.
learned how to invest.
Yes.
All
All
of
of
those
that.
things, yeah, all of those things go
Yeah.
into financial knowledge, not
Yeah.
financial literacy, because I don't really believe in financial literacy. I believe in financial knowledge. And when we have knowledge, we do better,
Tell me the
or we
difference. What
figure it
that
out.
the way you said that that meant something, the difference between literacy versus knowledge. Tell me about that.
Well,
Expound on that
a
a
lot
bit.
of times when you see financial literacy, we're talking about credit, repairing your
Oh,
credit,
I
mhm,
see. Uh-huh.
opening a bank account,
Okay.
second chance
Like
bank
getting a
account.
credit card. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
credit cards, all those type of things.
Okay.
When you're talking about knowledge, then you're talking about compound interest. You're talking
Okay.
about, yeah, you're talking
Mhm.
about compound interest on both sides, on the
Yes.
debt side and on the investment side. So when I talk to people, and I do a lot of stuff with Weave, and when I talk to the women at Weave and talk about compound interest, some of them have heard it and some of them have not.
Yeah.
Um, and compound interest is a person's best friend, right? It
Yes.
is, and then there are banks that will allow you, or credit unions, or financial institutions, I should say, will allow you to put as little as $500 in a time certificate. Now, if you don't need that money, right, it can roll and roll
Mhm.
over and roll over. Like
Mhm.
I did one for my granddaughter for 500, right? And it just rolls. Now, I'm not getting a lot of interest on it, but it's not my money. It's
Yeah.
hers. And she's
Yeah.
10. So just
Yeah.
imagine when she gets to be my age, if she allows that to stay there, what kind of interest she'll earn on that. So
Awesome.
that's what I mean when I say knowledge, or tracking, or managing, or knowing where every nickel goes. Now, some things go, fall through the cracks, but a lot of us don't track. We don't have, um, and I don't use budget anymore because I find that budget is money on a diet. And we never want to be on a diet. Never. Right. We want to be healthy. And so what I call a budget now, I call financial spending plan. It's the same concept,
Oh,
but it's
it's
a
a
better
financial spending
word.
plan.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the mind.
It's the word. Okay. You're
Yeah, it's the
reframing
word.
budget as a spending plan.
Right. Yeah, financial
Okay.
spending plan. And so budget, as soon as you say budget, the first thing you think about is I can't, right? I can't.
Mhm.
I can't eat that. I can't do this. I can't do that. But if you say fine, and if you create a financial spending plan, it
Mhm.
encompasses everything. Your investments, it encompasses uh, the everyday living expenses, along with your investments and any other things that you may want to put in. You put all that into it. Yes.
Awesome. Now, Anita, you said in what you sent over that you didn't believe there's any single approach to everyone has for any one particular person, that you are proactive and you have an integrated methodology to teach money habits and focus on enhancing one's well-being while understanding their emotional behavior about
Mhm.
money. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So every time I start a class or start something with a new client, we have something called a financial DNA. Okay, all of us have that. Um, and I go through that with them through something called a financial tree. A tree
Mhm.
is just a tree with just a regular tree with limbs and leaves and things like that. So your roots, the roots of the tree, is where you learned the money, is where
Mm.
you learned the habits. Then
Okay.
it grows into these leaves, and that leaf is what you produce when you produce your money habits,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
And so one of the things that you want to do is you want to change the root or improve your money habits. For instance, or our relationship with money. For instance, your relationship with money could be anxiety. Okay. It can
Okay.
be, yeah, it can be uh contentment, disgusted.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch it. All those things. And that is in those leaves. Now remember, it's in that root. So where did you learn that from? Was there a
Mm.
single household parent? I think you mentioned
Mm.
earlier today about
Mm.
we don't have money is the root of all evil. We've learned that. And so
Yeah.
we continue to think that where to wear our poverty, a sleeve of poverty on our arms. And that's not true. You know,
Mm.
we shouldn't. Or all rich people are evil because they one have all the money. Um,
Mhm.
or one of the things that people say, I saw this post on Facebook one time, is is that all of a sudden grandparents have money to go to McDonald's when before grandparents be like, I don't, I ain't got no money to go to this, no McDonald's or Burger King or whatever. But now all of a sudden, Granny got money to go, right? And but that weighs on us. That weighs on us as
Mm.
adults. That weighs on
Mm.
us, and we have those money scripts. Dr. Dave Cause, he's the one, KLONTZ. He coined the money scripts, and money scripts
Yes.
are, yeah, money scripts are.
Mm.
If you don't know them, they are. Uh, I want to be the head of everything, and I want everybody to see me. I'm cheap. You know, another one is I'm frugal, right? The other
True.
one is if I just had more money. And
Mm.
the other one is money is just it's an evil kind of thing.
Mm.
And so though he has four of them, and I just paraphrase them so you can, look them
Yeah.
up and see what they
Yeah.
are. And so sometimes live that way. And so that's what I mean about those type of things that uh make our behaviors, make our unhealthy habits. My goal is to help you create healthy habits.
Mm.
When you find out what triggers your unhealthy habits,
Mhm.
then you can make better decisions on your finances. Now, it doesn't mean that every day is going to be a great financial decision day. I always go back to the fact that one day I bought three pairs of shoes and two of them were the same color.
Wow.
Right? And I was like, why did I do that? What triggered the fact that I did that? And I was
Uh-huh.
stressing that day. I was really stressing. I was like, well, I don't have a green pair of shoes. But why did I have to get two pair of green
Two.
shoes
Two of the
of
same the
the
same
same
shoe?
color? Not the same
The
style,
same shoe. Oh,
but
two
the
shoes.
same color.
Okay. Okay.
And one of
All
my
right.
friends was like, "You gotta send them back." I was like, "I'm not sending them back." But see, that's what I tell my clients is that I was too embarrassed to send them back. But those are
So you're a behaviorist. What do you think was behind that two shoes of the same color?
I believe it was the fact that I wanted a pair of green shoes, but they both look really good. They
Oh,
were,
okay.
yeah, they both
Okay.
look really good. They were different
Okay.
styles. One heel
Uh-huh.
was this one heel was this.
Okay. All right. You're like,
But
I can use both of these.
yeah, I could use both of them, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that I bought 3 in one day was the habit. This what was it that triggered me to doing that? And then I had to sit back and use some of my own things that I use on my clients to figure out what triggered me that
Yeah.
day. And I was really stressed that day, really stressed about something. I don't know what it was.
So
I
don't go
can't remember
shopping
right
when you're
now.
stressed. That's what I'm hearing. Don't go shopping when you're stressed.
Or
But that's your own
don't
trigger.
have your
So it's
computers
important to
on.
know your own triggers, right?
Right, right, exactly. Or don't have 9 West on a speed dial on your computer.
Yeah, right. And so once you understand your triggers, then what?
Well, once you understand your triggers, then you understand your triggers. And then you can say, okay, that's just a trigger. Give myself, a couple of minutes or whatever to say, um, no, I don't need it. I may want it, but I don't need it. Right.
Mhm,
Now,
mhm,
I wanted a pair of green shoes,
mhm.
but I didn't need 2 pair.
Two pair, yeah.
Mhm,
You know what?
mhm,
One of the things that helps me sometimes is I'll say to myself, I'll come back tomorrow and get it. If it's still there, then it's supposed to be. And then
mhm,
of course I never go back because who has
mhm.
time? But I'll play that game with myself, right? If I'll come back tomorrow, if it's still there, then it's meant to be. And then you never come back. But that works for me. That works for me
Yes,
too.
definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you. Can you to give us an example of a time that you've helped someone get over their triggers or form
Yeah,
some new
sure.
behaviors
I
that
am,
better supported them?
I've currently, I mean, I'm working with, 2 or 3 clients right now. I remember the time that, I worked with a couple, and that was an interesting
I bet.
yeah, that was very interesting. Um, and, I actually, I think the man had a breakthrough quicker than his wife did, right? Um, they were fighting over money, so to speak, right? Because
Mm,
he wanted to he in his man world, which is okay, is like I'm the man and I'm supposed to take care
the
of
money.
the family.
Yeah.
She can work. I don't care about her working, but whatever comes through this house, bills, I'm supposed to pay,
Mhm.
right? And so one of his things was that was the first thing. But once we got down and peeled the onion back, he was supposed to inherit some money. Uh,
Mhm.
and his mother sold his inheritance, so to speak. Yeah. And so he was mad with his mother about his money.
Mm.
So, which in turn made him angry with his wife about money.
Mm.
Yeah, it was an interesting it was
It
very
was deep.
interesting.
It went
Yeah.
deep.
It was really kinda deep. Yeah, it was really kinda deep, right? And so at that point, when you have an anger, issue with parents or any of those kinds of things, that's more of a therapy session, which is a real fine line for me. That's why the master's is important to me, the last master's that I received, because that allows me to counsel, but I still have to go with what some more classes that California says I have to have in order to do the counseling. And and then the PhD helps in that area too. So that's why all of that is important, because I don't want to get into the therapy part of that anger with his mother. I wanted to stay on the track with the money.
Yes. Stay
Mhm.
on track with the money. Don't we all want to do that? Yes, yes.
Yes.
Um, Anita, are there any slogans or quotes or mottos that you live by?
One of the things I do live by for my own personal affirmation is I woke up to the smell of abundance.
I love that.
Right. I woke up to the smell of abundance. And abundance can be anything. It's not necessarily money. It could be
Right.
friends.
Mhm.
It could be, it could be soap. you know, all of those things, because there are days when I can remember I didn't have, and
Yeah.
so that's really important. So that's my own personal uh, um, slogan. the one that I give to people is one of the things that I give to people is finding. So you'll find a lot of things that I talk about at the end of my conversation is finding your financial voice. Finding your financial voice. So when you find your financial voice, like you actually are finding liberation, finding freedom, financial
Mm.
freedom. Financial freedom doesn't necessarily mean all your debt is taken care, all your debt is paid off, right? But it's having the knowledge to make better financial decisions. The other one is financial mindset plus financial
Mhm.
knowledge plus financial power equals your financial voice. So let me say that again. So
Yeah.
financial mindset,
Mm-hmm.
financial
Plus.
knowledge
Mm-hmm.
plus financial power equals your financial voice. And
What if
that's
one of
finding,
those is missing? What if one of those is missing, like financial power is missing?
then you don't have your voice just yet. You don't
You don't
have your
have your
voice.
voice just yet.
The
Okay.
power is when is when, like you said, when um we know what our worth is and we're not making 63 cents on the dollar.
Oh, I see.
We're not earning 63 cents.
Yeah.
That's your power. Um,
Okay.
I want to refer to this one client that I had. Actually, I did some work for a church,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in constant contact with the financial person at the church and things like that. And after the job was over, after the project was over, she says to me, Anita, I enjoyed working with you. And she says, one of the things that I've learned from you is to ask,
Mm.
right? She says, I went and asked for a raise. I went and asked for a raise that people work with me for me. I asked for all that. And she says, one thing about, she says, you are never afraid to ask. I said, well, first of all, I had to learn that. I said, because at one point in time, I was meek. And she says, I never would believe that you were. I
Well,
say, some areas of my life,
it's
yes.
true. I mean, there's a statistic that says 60% of women have never negotiated at work,
Mhm,
ever,
mhm,
right?
mhm, mm.
And I've talked to recruiters who say that women never negotiate that first offer on that when they're offered that on a job, and men always do.
Mhm.
And we're leaving about $5,000 on the table by not negotiating that first offer,
That's
right?
true. Mhm.
And $5,000, if it's invested correctly over a course of a year, is just under $1 million.
Right, right.
So that is significant to help them find their voice
Mhm.
and ask for the raise, right?
Correct, correct,
Yeah.
definitely. One other thing, if, for instance, you get to negotiating and you find out that they don't have any extra money, but what if they have daycare? Can you negotiate daycare? Can you negotiate further your education? Can you negotiate those into your paycheck as well? So that way they pay for the child care, they pay for the education, whatever
That's
that
right.
is. My son-in-law, who is in human resources, and he hires people and he knows the salaries of people. He said there's always a low number, a middle number, and a higher number.
That's right.
And if that person doesn't negotiate that number, then that money just stays in the pot,
Yep. For
right?
the next person,
For the next person.
for the next
Exactly.
person who is a male who will ask.
Right. Exactly.
They will
Exactly.
ask. They will
Hmm.
say, they will negotiate. I do courses twice a year on negotiation. Brand Yourself and Negotiate is a free course I do once a year. And the other one is Command Your Excellence. And
Mm,
that's all about finding your voice and negotiating.
mm,
Commanding your worth at work is what it's called. So I agree with you. I totally support that. Women need to learn how to negotiate. It's not something that's natural to a lot of people, but it's something we must do. We have to learn to negotiate. whether
Mhm.
that be like Dr. Anita says, whether that's, daycare negotiation or,
Education.
something else. Negotiation is a fact of life.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And Anita,
That's okay. You call me doctor.
okay, we're gonna claim it as though it is. We're gonna bring it into existence. When do you finish? When do you get that
I
done?
finish at the end of the year.
In
I
December.
well, so November is starts the last quarter. So November, December, January, February is the last quarter. So I'm thinking in that last quarter I will be done. Hmm.
Praise the Lord. Well, we'll
Yeah,
we'll pray for you.
I will be
And
done. Yeah,
congratulations. Another
I'm writing my
another sister I
proposal.
know that's a doctor. Thank you, doctor. I'm going to call you Dr. Anita right now.
Yeah.
But I see something in the chat I want to address. And Glennis says, ask for the raise at the initial interview. And I just want to talk about that a little bit. It's not at the initial interview. It's once they make you an offer. Until they make you an offer, you don't talk about money at all. No talk about money until they make that first offer. Then you can negotiate. It is the most power you'll have as an employee
Mm,
in your entire
other
career,
line.
is
Mhm.
when you have come into that company and they have decided amongst all the candidates they interviewed, they want you. And at that point, you have the power to negotiate more salary, more vacation. There are 12 non-monetary things you can negotiate at when you first go into a company. And Glennis, I know you've got a daughter that is interviewing right now, and she should reach out and get that list of 12 non-financial things to negotiate when you first go into a company. It is at that point, yes, once they make that offer to you, then you can negotiate. Thank you. Thank you for letting me clarify that. Anything else you want to say, Dr. Anita? Anything
Um,
that I haven't asked you that I should have asked you?
I would probably say one thing is that remember when you start, one of the things is whenever you start working with a financial behaviorist, whether it be myself or a financial psychologist or any of those, or a financial therapist. So you got financial behaviors, which is me, financial therapist, and then a financial psychologist. So when you start working, you will know when you need someone. I had someone reach out to me um, last week saying, "This is my issue. Can you help me?" Um,
Mm,
yeah, I mean, and I was just shocked. I'm like, I got this email out of the blue, right? They had heard, I guess, heard me speak once before. And
yes.
so one of the things is that you have been doing this same road for 30, 40, 50 years, right? You've been making these financial decisions all this time. Do not think you are going to get well in 3 sessions, okay? Do
Yes.
not think you're going to get well in
Uh-huh.
2 years, in
Right.
a year. Because
Mm,
it's all because remember now, this road is a bumpy road. You know where the pit stops are. And the other road that you are gonna go down is a new road to you. There may
yeah.
be a curve there. There may be this there.
Mhm.
And one of the things is that you really want to be able to know what your triggers are, know that you're gonna have unhealthy days, not bad,
Mm,
unhealthy financial decision days. And then once you have those unhealthy financial decision days, get back up
yes.
and keep rolling on that road. I got those 3 shoes. I didn't take them back, but I was like, I have never bought 3 shoes at one time again.
Uh, again. Awesome, because you're recognizing you were just triggered that day.
Mhm.
That's what prompted the behavior.
Right.
Behavior change is hard. Just think about how many diets we go on in a year, right? We're
Yeah.
trying to change our behavior to eat a certain way, and it really is a struggle. So, financials, anytime you're making any kind of adjustments like this, I would imagine it's the same thing, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. That's why
Yes.
I don't use the word budget. I use financial spending plan, which
I
is
like that.
very, very more positive
Yes,
and
because they like to
use your
spend.
mind.
Yes, they
Mhm.
know about spending.
Yeah. Or
We
even
all
the
know how to
word,
do that. We know how
yeah,
to
we
do
know
that.
how to do that. Yeah, we know
Right,
how to
that
do
doesn't
that.
sound
Yeah.
challenging at all.
The other word I change is savings, because what happens for people who save, right? Say for instance, they put 50, $100, $200 in a savings account, and by the end of the week or the next 2 weeks, they have to go and get it, right? They have to get it because something has happened,
Oh,
or
I see.
oh, I need
Yes,
a
yeah,
cup of
yeah,
coffee, right?
yeah,
It's an emergency. I got to have a cup of Starbucks coffee or whatever,
yeah.
right? And so what happens is I have them change that word in their minds to investment.
Mm.
So
Oh, it's, an investment
investment.
plan.
So if I take in $50, $100 and invest it into my savings account,
Yes,
then it's like, oh, that's an investment. I got to see that grow.
yes.
And so that's another way to deal with
Mindset,
your mindset. Mhm.
money mindset.
That's why
All
I
right.
say financial mindset
Yeah.
plus knowledge plus power. Mhm.
All right. That makes a lot of sense. That makes
Mm.
a lot of sense. I talked about this book, Rest is Resistance. So I'm making it a point now to ask my guests about what their go-to is
Mm.
for rest and restoration, because we
Yeah,
all need that. We are
right.
very hardworking people, and women are definitely hardworking. And so, but we have to be cognizant that these bodies are not machines. They are our bodies, and they are ours for the whole entirety of our lives. And so getting that rest is important.
Mhm.
What's your go-to for rest and restoration?
Well, just about every morning at
Mhm.
6:30, 7 o'clock, I walk. Uh,
Yes.
I walk about, I try to get in at least 8 to 10,000 steps a day. Doesn't
Yes.
always work, but I, do my best. Yes, exactly. And on top of that, I go to hot yoga.
Oh,
So sometime in the middle of the day, sometime there's a noon class, and I'm at noon class.
okay.
Um, yeah, I do vinyasa. That's another yoga. All of it is hot. All of it is 99 degrees with
Oh my
20
gosh.
other 30 other
Oh,
people in the room. And
and
yesterday,
just
let me
sweating
tell
it
you
out.
something. Yesterday, I was like, "Oh my God, this room is hot." And and so when I got home, I still had all my sweaty clothes, so, just jump in the shower or whatever. But and also yin. So yin is a yoga that is no heat, and you do more stretching. And I teach yin too as well.
I did not
So
know this. I'm taking a
yeah.
yin yoga class at my fitness center on Tuesdays. Be my first one
Oh, okay. All
for
right.
yin
Yeah.
yoga.
And
But
I teach on Tuesday nights, so
I
just a
wonder
plug
if you're
there.
my teacher. Is that at the Roseville Sports Center? No,
No,
okay.
I actually have it. I have people that are on Zoom, and I
Oh,
have
on
people
Zoom.
that come to my
Okay.
office. Yeah, I have people that come to my office. I have 3, 4 spaces in
Uh-huh.
in the in the lobby of my office, and we just get in there, and we got our candles going, and I
Uh-huh.
just I just teach yin yoga for them. And then I also teach at Fundamental Elements, which is on Broadway here in the South.
Fundamental what?
Fundamental Elements, and it's a Black owned studio.
Tell me about fundamental elements.
It's a Black owned yoga studio. It's
Oh,
not like the one that I am part of, a member of.
uh-huh.
And they have there nothing in there is hot, so everything is chilled,
Oh, awesome.
or at normal. And I teach
Uh-huh.
on Thursday nights there,
Okay.
and it's on Broadway and
So you
Second.
are a yoga instructor as well?
Yes.
you're doing it all. As entrepreneurs, we have to have multiple streams of income, right?
Well, yeah. Well, I teach a financial yin yoga class. And
Wow.
yeah, so that I mean, I teach regular yin, but I also
Yeah.
have a financial yin yoga class where we're doing yin classes. We're doing yin poses, but we're
Uh-huh.
also talking about your relationship with money. And so I'm
That sounds
relaxing you.
interesting. I'm curious now.
I'm relaxing
During
you.
the class, during the class, you're doing this.
Yeah. I'm relaxing you in those
You know
poses.
what? I can see that you're kind of recreating a different relationship with money, a positive relationship with
Mhm.
money while they're in this yin yoga class. Wow, that's pretty inventive, very creative.
Yeah, yeah. Most people like it. They like it. They hate it and they like it. They like it
Yeah,
because it's yin. And I don't know about hate. I maybe hate is a very strong word,
yeah,
but I'm having them think about their finances. And that's
yeah.
something people can do before they sign up with me on any sessions, any of
Mhm.
my workshops, any of that. They can go to the financial yin yoga class to see how that fits into, how that
Mhm.
fits. And they don't
Mhm.
have to spend a whole lot of money to do it, uh,
Yes.
to 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 get a feel for what I will be telling them in the workshops and things like that. Mhm.
So it can be a low cost entry point to working with you.
Exactly, exactly.
Now, Anita, how do people get in touch with you? Is that through your LinkedIn?
Yes, that's through my LinkedIn. It should be coming up there, but it's in my LinkedIn.
It's in your
Also,
was it in the private chat?
yes, it
Yes, yes.
does.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you. We'll
Yes.
get that out there for people to connect to you on LinkedIn. And is your LinkedIn just simply your name, Anita R. Johnson?
It's Anita R. Johnson. Yes.
Okay.
And you can also find me on Facebook, which is Anita R. Johnson, Financial Behaviorist.
Financial
Mhm.
behaviors.
And our group is
Awesome.
Money Wisdom for Women too, as well.
Oh, you have a Facebook group?
Called Money Wisdom for Women. Mhm.
Money Wisdom for Women Facebook group. Awesome. Now, listen, we need to take a little bit of a break because we have some prizes we want to give away. But thank you so much, Anita. Um, and I'm going to ask, in fact, the first prize we're going to give away is your magazine. So
Mhm.
tell us about this magazine. What can the people expect? Please put your name in the chat if you want to be considered uh, in the giveaways. So just put your name out there and we'll include you in the raffle. Go ahead, Anita. Tell us about this
So
magazine.
yeah, so this magazine is 6 years old. And we have contributors. It's called Affluence. When I started it, I did a contest for people to give me names, and the person who won gets the magazine for life. And it's called
Wow.
Affluence Financial Fitness for Women magazine. And in this
Nice.
magazine, we talk about financial things that affect women. Um, and I have contributors from East Coast to West Coast and in the middle. Some of them are financial planners. Some of them, I have a husband-wife team. The husband is a financial planner, and the wife is a trauma specialist. So trauma and financial.
Mhm.
I really believe that mental health, money has some, being broke is a mental health. It's a mental health issue as well.
Okay.
So we have this is a quarterly magazine, and you can find, and it has its own Facebook page as well as its own LinkedIn page.
And
Um,
so who's on the cover? Who gets to be on the cover? I want to be on the cover. Who gets to, how do you get on the cover of that magazine?
so usually financial people are on the cover, which
I'm a
we can make
financial person.
we can make an exception. You're
I
talking.
have a master's in finance. My MBA is in
Yeah,
finance.
you're talking to the boss. You're talking to the boss. So who's on the
Awesome.
cover is She is a financial therapist, and she is out of the New York area. I met her on LinkedIn, and then I also have done conferences for Financial Therapy Association, and I've been the breakout
Host.
instructor. The last I met her in Denver, and that was the very first one that we've had since COVID. Everything else has been online,
Okay.
and I met her in Denver in person when I was in Denver last year. Now this year I won't be speaking because I'm finishing my dissertation, and I just don't want to, deal with that. But
Get it done. Get it done.
yes, yes. So she is Ashley on Asian is her name. She's Ashley, a financial therapist out of New York, in that New York area. And she's a board member of the Financial Therapy Association.
Oh, nice.
And
So,
her
so do
story
you
is in,
operate nationally, Anita?
I believe she does. I believe she does.
Okay. Oh,
Mhm.
I meant you. Do you operate
Oh yeah, yeah,
nationally?
yeah. Oh yes, definitely. Yeah. Yes, I do. Yeah.
Well, this
And
is
so she will
amazing.
talk
So
about
you're going to give this away,
I'm
and
giving
they'll
this
have
away.
what's in it? Tips?
It's tips. It's tips about women and finance. The lead stories are money, stress, and therapy. That's
Okay.
basically what it is.
Okay.
And people are talking about, we got financial planners who are becoming financial therapists at the same time because they
Okay.
want to incorporate that into their therapy sessions and so forth. And so it talks about how you can become a financial therapist
Okay.
in here in the magazine. And then I think Dr. Cece, she talked about crisis, about trauma, how trauma financial trauma has affected us as a community. Okay,
Mm,
right?
okay.
About how redlining and those
Yes.
types of issues have over the years become ingrained in our mindset.
Historical traumas.
Hmm. Right.
Okay. Awesome. Well, listen, I am going to move on. Keep us moving. Thank you. This is up for grabs today. We'll be drawing names in just a minute. Put your names in the chat. I'm also going to be giving away my book. Uh, and it's just a guide to creating the life and work you dream of.
Mhm.
It's about doing the most with this one little life we've been given, and kind of course correcting if we need that, right? It's a book that has I love quotes, so about 40 quotes and about 6 different original works of art from local artists. Each chapter has an image drawn by a local artist. So it
Mhm.
was fun putting this book together. My gift to the world. It's a very reasonably priced book. It's available on Amazon, but today you get it for free. And we'll be drawing names in just a minute. We'll come back. Give us a few minutes to draw these names. I'm not even a minute, less than a minute, 30 seconds to draw these names, and we'll be back with you to tell you who the winners are. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll be, thank you so much. I just want to announce some winners today. Today for the Affluence magazine, we have Cynthia Dees Brooks.
Mhm.
And she's a local entrepreneur here in town. So she'll be getting a copy of your magazine. And could you put that on there, Ernest? And then April, Michelle Jean will be getting a copy of my book. And she's also a local entrepreneur. I guess I know a lot of entrepreneurs. Go figure. Go figure. Go figure. How did that happen? Well, thank you. We're coming to the end of our time. I just want to thank you for being with us today. Any last words before we close out?
I just want people to understand that money is not evil. It's a tool to
That's
get you
right.
from one spot to the next and get you
That's
all
right.
the things that you need. And so remember, it's a tool. It's only a tool, and it's no need to be afraid.
Thank you. So good words to go out on. Money is a tool. No need to be afraid. It's just a tool to help us negotiate this life and get the things we need. It's not evil. It's very necessary. So I wanted to remind you all that we'll be back next month, September, I believe the 15th is a Saturday, about the same time, 11:30. And congratulations to our winners. We will be back. My host, I believe she's confirmed, is Clasaria Henderson, Executive Director. But we will be back next month. I do want to close the month out with a little bit of sharing. It's a great opportunity to educate here while we're together. And this time, I heard about this month for the first time this year, and I wanted to share that with you as well. But August, the whole month of August, is Black August. And it has been celebrated since 1970s. And it is a time where we celebrate and commemorate those who have fought for Black liberation. Those like the Black Panthers, like Huey B. Newton, those who were jailed as a result of. So the focus is on those liberators that have been jailed and that are continually and currently fighting for our freedom. Someone like Assata Shakur also. So it's a month that we celebrate liberation, and we hope for and we aspire to be liberated. So I hope we spread the word on that, and I hope to see you back here in September. It's been great, Dr. Anita. I truly learned a lot and enjoyed our time together. So we'll see you next month. Over and out.
And I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again.